When a narcissist leaves you for someone else, it can feel like a blow that cuts deep. It stirs feelings of inadequacy, confusion, and heartbreak. You might wonder why they walked away so easily, and whether they'll ever regret the decision. Though it seems that narcissists move on without a second thought, the reality is often quite different beneath the surface. Narcissists almost always regret leaving their former partners for someone new, but this regret isn't rooted in the same emotions most people experience when they feel remorse. At first glance, a narcissist's decision to leave can seem cold, sudden, and calculated. Narcissists thrive on admiration, attention, and validation. They are masters at manipulating the emotions of those around them to serve their own needs. When they leave a relationship, it's not because they've found someone better. Rather, they've found someone new, someone they believe will better serve their immediate needs for validation. However, once that newness fades, the regret often creeps in, though it may not be for the reasons you might expect. Narcissists see relationships differently than emotionally healthy people do. They don't seek deep, meaningful connections. Instead, they view relationships as opportunities to bolster their fragile self-esteem. In the early stages of any new relationship, they enjoy the novelty, the rush of attention, and the excitement of feeling admired by someone new. This thrill is intoxicating for them, and for a while, it masks their underlying insecurities. But soon enough, that novelty wears off. The new partner starts to see through their charm, and the narcissist begins to feel the same dissatisfaction they felt in the previous relationship. This is when regret starts to take root. However, narcissistic regret is not the same as genuine remorse. When a narcissist regrets leaving you, it's not because they miss you as a person or because they realize they've hurt you. Their regret is more selfish. It's about the loss of control and the realization that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. They start to remember the ways you catered to their needs, the ways you fed their ego, and the comfort of knowing they could rely on you for validation. They may start to see their new partner's flaws, or worse, the new partner may stop showering them with admiration. When this happens, the narcissist's sense of regret is not tied to love or empathy, but to the void left by losing someone who knew how to stroke their ego just the right way. Narcissists also tend to idealize the past, especially when things aren't going well in the present. They may look back on their time with you and remember only the highlights, the moments when you adored them, catered to them, and made them feel special. They conveniently forget the parts where they manipulated, hurt, or neglected you. In their mind, they cast themselves as the victim or the misunderstood hero of the story. This selective memory fuels their regret because they start to believe that they left something valuable behind, not recognizing that their own behavior is what led to the breakdown of the relationship in the first place. It's important to note that this regret is often temporary. Once they realize that they can't regain control over you or that rekindling the relationship won't give them the same sense of validation, they may quickly move on. This cycle of idealizing, devaluing, and discarding partners is common for narcissists, and it's why they often jump from one relationship to the next. When they regret leaving someone, it's rarely about the loss of the person. Instead, it's about the loss of the benefits they gained from being in that person's life. Another reason narcissists regret leaving is that they are deeply insecure at their core. Despite their outward arrogance and confidence, they are constantly seeking reassurance that they are important, desirable, and special. In the early stages of a new relationship, they receive this reassurance in spades, but as time goes on, their insecurities begin to resurface. They start to feel restless, dissatisfied, and anxious. They may begin to compare their new partner to you, not because they genuinely believe you were a better match, but because they are always looking for external sources of validation. When they can't find it in their current situation, they start to reminisce about the past, and that's when the regret begins to gnaw at them. For someone who has been left by a narcissist, It can be both confusing and painful to watch this cycle unfold. You may hear from mutual friends that the narcissist is talking about you, or they may even reach out to you directly, attempting to reconnect under the guise of regret. But it's important to remember that their regret is self-serving. They are not reaching out because they've had a change of heart or because they've come to realize their mistakes. They are reaching out because they miss the validation, attention, and power they once had over you. They regret losing control, not losing you as a person. If you're ever tempted to take a narcissist back after they've expressed regret, it's crucial to remember that their behavior is unlikely to change. Narcissists are adept at making grand gestures, saying all the right things, and manipulating your emotions to draw you back in. But once they feel secure in the relationship again, the cycle of emotional abuse is likely to resume. They will once again begin to devalue you, and the same patterns of manipulation, control, and gaslighting will rear their ugly heads. The best thing you can do when a narcissist expresses regret is to protect yourself from further harm. Recognize that their regret is not a sign of personal growth or a change of heart, but a symptom of their never-ending need for validation. The narcissist's regret is a reflection of their own emptiness and inability to form genuine connections. They regret losing access to a source of validation, not the person themselves. In the end, the narcissist's regret should not be seen as a reflection of your worth. It's easy to get caught up in wondering why they left and whether you did something wrong, but the truth is, their decision to leave was never about you. Narcissists operate based on their own emotional needs and insecurities, and their choices are driven by a desire for constant admiration and validation. Their regret is not a sign that you were unworthy or inadequate. Rather, it's a sign that you were able to give them something they desperately craved, something they will never be able to find in any long-lasting, meaningful way. When a narcissist leaves you for someone new, they may seem like they're moving on without a second thought. But in time, they almost always come to regret their decision. Not because they miss you or have come to understand the error of their ways, but because they miss the way you made them feel. They miss the control, the admiration, and the validation you once provided. Ultimately, their regret is a reminder that they are stuck in a cycle of dissatisfaction, unable to truly connect with others or find the peace they so desperately seek.